it through it, Eric.
Cool. Okay. So Matt, I appreciate you coming even on your vacation, and everybody else. It's so awesome. Both DAOs, Kratos sharing, everything. So it's fantastic. Appreciate the support completely. I'm going to read through just kind of what I had on the Google Doc, and then I guess we'll let Matt do his thing, and then he can go back to vacation or hang out. But yeah, much appreciation everybody coming. Appreciate X for working my signal and me going through all my steps. So yeah, let's go through and read this stuff. So welcome to the first ever One Show. Today's April 3rd. Nothing heard here is financial advice. Please exercise respect when talking with others. Please raise hand to talk in the X spaces. Hopefully this will be interactive spaces. Our mission is to have this X spaces evolve into something beneficial for the entire Harmonauts community, made by the Harmonauts community. The initial format, so Bones, can you get there, Theo? Initial format, we've posted some potential topics in the Google document. I'm just going to kind of read through it all, and we'll come back. But like I said, we will let Matt go first today. So, you can read through all this. And yeah, we'll ask for feedback from the speakers and everybody that's in the audience. You can request the mic whenever. Hopefully move into some organic construction conversation. At any point, people can request to move to another topic or elaborate on the topic at hand. Some listed below topics will potentially help shape the format structure of One Show moving forward. Thanks for everyone for tuning in today and listening in the future. Lastly, on the Google document part, there are 3 of us that can modify it. So anybody could reach out to either myself, Peace and Love, or Theo to modify this Google document, and then this will just kind of be our guide for how we do One Show moving forward. That's how I like to do it anyway. So basic guidelines in development. This is all up to change. Just kind of setting this up here, including thinking about how often do we want to have this. If it's once a week, every other week, once a month. So I also wanted to thank the Harmony One team and Kratos for sharing the space. That's fantastic. And a disclaimer that I wanted to mention, the intention of the show is to educate, spread awareness, and get the Harmony One community involved. It's not for personal gain, so I'm just trying to fill a void here, and hopefully everyone else can help as well. That leads into the last part here. So it won't be so much like her. It'll be it won't be asking the core team, kind of be asking the community, and whoever has an answer or whoever wants to interact can go for it. So I'm just going to kind of go through. This kind of ended where her left off. So someone had just said, will there be any incentives for the lending protocol? It's kind of in development. I know there were some updates on that this week. Something I put in there, if anybody wants to divulge what the top priority at the moment is for Harmony One, where's the most time and resources going? If anybody can elaborate on the BTC, Harmony One is a BTC layer 2 type of updates. Also, it's been about 6 months plus for the RMC slash potentially going to be emissions DAO. Matt is here to talk about the recovery grant and the spring investors program. Crypto Land DAO is launching pretty soon. The Harmonauts DAO and CDAO have actually joined into one DAO. So hopefully we can do some new elections there as well pretty soon. I also wanted to take a second to invite Stephen Say or Lee if they want to come on here. Definitely more than welcome. We're going to try to make this a safe space. And I just wanted to ask the community now or later, what do we want to do? Like, what do you guys want to see Harmony blockchain itself, and or how can we change doing the marketing and the direction for the community? And we're almost getting there. Got that one. if anybody wanted to update about the Harmony OneBot, I know there's been updates on that. Some Harmonauts have requested that the spaces be shared on the main Harmony One account. That happened with the X account just now, but they also said or asked if some of these can be posted to the main YouTube account. That could also maybe be filled by Peace Ants Academy / Harmonauts DAO, or myself here in the near future to just live stream these. Wanted to also mention the LBI, the Liquid Burn Initiative, is live now. You can join the Harmonauts DAO for more information there. We can talk about it. I also wanted to ask if when HIP 32 is implemented, if that will help or lower the threshold for validators to stay elected. And last two, Crazy One domains and .country domains. So those are my kind of topics. There could be a gazillion more. I'll give a brief little, if anybody wants to say anything, and then hand it over to you, Matt.
Well, I'll just say thanks for holding the space, Butthead, and thanks for putting this together.
Or like, can we jump in on anything?
Well, I know Matt only has like I think he said he's only here for like 10 minutes, so I was just gonna since he was able to.
Yeah, perfect. Then we'll start with Matt, and then we can go back around to those early questions.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Cool. Well, thank you for the invite, Eric. And you said earlier that you're here to fill a void, or you're serving to fill a void. You know, you're downplaying your service to this ecosystem, in my opinion. I look at you as, you know, cultivating a garden where we all can come in here and build. So thank you, Eric. If you want to take me through a couple of the questions, I can kind of do it that way.
Well, the main
questions you had for us.
Well, my main hope for you would be if you could talk about if you want to talk about what stage the grant proposal is in for the Recovery One ambassadors, and if you would want to elaborate on the spring program, and when does that close? Is that still open enrollment? Or?
Got it. Okay, perfect. And then I'll add a couple more things in there as well. So yes, I'm Matt Barrett. I'm one of the steering members of Recovery One, and it's almost been 2 years since the hack. And through this bull cycle, the recovery efforts has, in my opinion, done a phenomenal effort. We've burned almost 20% of the depegged assets in a bear cycle. So that's absolutely incredible. And I want to thank everybody involved, Modelo, Tranquil. It's been a lot of hard work, and we're continuing to make progress. And Recovery One is committed all the way through to seeing this recovery come to an end and recovery of depegged assets. Through our programs, we have different initiatives. So we have an ambassador program. The idea is to grow that. You guys have been doing a great job, Eric, Selvi, and Biddy, to build a space where people can collaborate, to showcase different projects. So that's what the idea that we want to do with the growth of the ambassador program at R1. And we're looking to continue to build value for Harmony, and then to broaden that and to grow that into a larger ecosystem. And the hope is that we become a Harmony sponsored ambassador program. So that is in the works. We are working on a grant submission, and we should have something to submit to the talk forum within, I would say, within the next 2 weeks. The other point that we wanted to talk about is we are in round 18, and in this round, it's almost over. We're almost starting round 19. The recovery exchange can facilitate more exchanging of depegged assets. So we've exchanged our whole round allocation in 2 weeks. I know another recovery partner is a little slow in doing so. If the Recovery Multi-Sig Committee wants to allocate more funds to the recovery exchange, we can process those faster. So those are the 2 points. The ambassador program, we're looking to continue to grow that. And then second, we can handle more exchanging of funds in the next round.
Okay, you paused. Two things. The first one, before it might be leads into an open discussion. Where is the spring R1 people applying? How long is that open, or is it still open, or is it closed, or is there anybody that's looking good there?
Yep. So we had in the same respect of last cohort, we had about 10 people submit. In this round, we have just under 10. I think there was 8 the last time I looked. That will be closing shortly, and then training will commence the end of April. So for those people that are interested in joining the ambassador program, please do so. We have a couple links on the Twitter account, X account, and there is a Google form to submit your information. It does a little bit of a resume, submissions, and a little bit of your background.
Cool. And then just a little more explanation for people that may not be familiar with the recovery program. So right now, 25% of the emissions are going to the recovery multi-sig. Every month, half of the emissions, half of the Harmony 1 goes to Recovery 1 and half goes to Modulo. Recovery 1 is using pegged assets in exchange for depegged, and Modulo is using WAN. So Matt is asking, and I think you closed out like probably like a week ago, almost, Matt? At least 3 or 4 days ago?
Approximately a week ago. And our model is a little bit different from the other recovery partner. They have a Dutch auction where you can exchange at a certain price, and then the price resets the rate to which you can swap it. Ours is we are lagging, so we lag what the market rate is. We look at what the current exchange rate is, and we peg our exchange rate for a specific round based on that. And we facilitate the actual burning of depegged assets using bridged USDC. So our model is to bring in a stablecoin into the Harmony ecosystem to strengthen DeFi, and then we also allow people to burn a depegged asset and get that stablecoin.
Beautiful. And so yeah, so you basically closed out. You got rid of half of your funds last week, and then Modulo. I guess I haven't checked, but I know from 2 months ago he had to roll over like some crazy amount, like 3 million won or something.
I think they're still sitting on around 4.9 million won tokens, which is significant.
Yeah, because we are kicking out the next round a week from yesterday. So
yes. So
yeah,
to emphasize that point again, if the Recovery Multisig Committee wants to allocate a larger portion to the recovery exchange, we can facilitate the burning, I think, more efficiently and quickly for the rounds.
Yeah, I know. I personally use that. All right. Well, Matt, I really appreciate you coming, even on vacation. I'm going to kind of open it up. If you can hang out, hang out. But I guess I did want to throw it to Peace and Love. He is a RMC signer. He's actually the one that initiates the transactions. I did a couple. He's started kind of doing that. So I don't know if you had something to say there, but yeah, much appreciation.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll stick around.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey, first off, thanks for putting the space on. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah, you sound great, man. It's good to see you earlier, too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's a good idea if Modulo's having a hard time getting rid of what they have, then it makes sense to send more to Recovery 1. So, yeah, I agree.
Cool. And I guess unless it comes up later, we can just kind of talk about that. People don't know there's a recovery Telegram and a recovery Discord. So fantastic. I guess that's good there. Theo, I don't know how I should call you guys whenever I say Theo. How do you guys do it at work? Like in the office? Or do you want nicknames or?
We usually, he goes by Theo P, I go by Theo F. So you could just do that if it works for you.
All right, so I got to think P for punk, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, there you go. P for punk.
Okay, I think I can remember that. All right, so Theo P for punk. Theo P, you had kind of jumped off earlier, so let's kick it off in a new direction. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. If you wanted to share the space, if you want to come up, request the mic. Definitely, this is the first kind of time feeling it out, so hopefully we'll get a lot of feedback on how to evolve this. And yeah, just thanks for everybody for being here.
Yeah, just wanted to echo that as well. And thanks for all the introductions and setting this up. Yeah, 2024 is looking really nice, and especially everyone in here. Thanks for taking the time out of your days or nights, wherever you are. And yeah, hopefully we can answer some questions, cover up kind of what Harmony's been doing behind the scenes. Theo F will elaborate a little bit more on BTC and kind of the Bitcoin narrative and DeFi elements. But again, like, this is a space at the end of the day that's for you guys, right? Like the Harmony community. So and there's not too many of you guys in the call right now or in the space. So we really want to get you guys to ask the questions that you want most answered. If they're not in the Google Doc, then yeah, we'll try to get to them as best as possible.
Anyone else? Bones, are you on like a special mic? I can't tell if you're mute or not. Maybe he's having problems. All right. Cool. So anybody wants the mic, request the mic.
Yeah, I could hop in real quick just to tag along. EOP for punk. Just to cover superficial, maybe you'll give some people some ideas about what we're working on and maybe trigger some additional questions. I'm just going off of the doc a little bit. So Theo P mentioned BTC L2. Obviously, the big focus here now, as Matt mentioned, as we're making actually quite significant progress with the recovery. We're swinging up into a semi-bull. So obviously, DeFi is one of the main or core functionalities of this technology, obviously. So we're becoming more and more focused on this. And within the space, one of the larger narratives is this BTC L2 wave. I mean, it looks like Lightning Network and some of the pre-existing technologies did not suffice with kind of the ordinals and inscriptions and all this fanfare that's happening in the last year. So we see all these new technologies. We just went to Denver a few weeks ago. And so we were able to kind of cross-pollinate with a lot of them and discuss, and it seems like there's a lot of excitement there. And as we all know, Bitcoin is kind of king still. We got over $1 trillion of market cap there. So we're all looking at it and seeing how we can play this. And obviously, being an L1 in Ethereum, we're trying to figure out our angle, our positioning in this. So right now, we're spending a lot of time talking with partners, whether it's from Babylon or Lazarus, Bob doing a lot of research. Right now, functionally, I think the easiest implementation is continuing to add bridges to networks that we anticipate will do very well. So that's kind of the biggest thing to drive liquidity. But then obviously to your point, and this number one question here is like incentives. And you mentioned here for Lend.Harmony specifically, but even beyond that, like why would anybody want to channel their Bitcoin to Harmony One? So that's kind of what we've been studying and researching, looking into. We're looking at some other lending protocols, some other functional dApps that hopefully can, return enough of an investment so that people are incentivized to bring their tokens on. Not even just Bitcoin, but some of the other ones as well. So that's kind of big picture what we're starting to lean into on more of the DeFi side. I'm trying to look at some of the other questions here. And then obviously the AI wave is also very exciting. This is spinning even more quickly with lots of ideas. Obviously, about our bots. And we're integrating various APIs and using Harmony as kind of a payment mechanism, which clearly is very seamless in terms of its usability. But we're obviously alongside the rest of the AI industry, trying to figure out what that use case is. Because it seems like all the value is accruing to obviously hardware first, with NVIDIA doing really well, OpenAI and all these guys, the LLMs are able to raise a lot of money, but they're not necessarily generating bottom line profit yet. So we would be building on top of that layer, kind of on the application layer side, incorporating Harmony One. So that's also very open ended. And obviously, as you know, Harmony Network is an open ecosystem. Anybody can build and use us. So we want to cater to those people as well as see if we can come up with some clever ideas, innovative ideas and solutions to offer our community and beyond. So that's my little spiel for now. But yeah, open any questions.
I had two real quick on those. I'll go the easier one first. So I noticed for the first time I did a price check on how much it costs to generate an image. I think it's like 5.1. So will that price go down as Harmony One price goes up, or is there any kind of automation in place there? Or discussion?
No, there's not any automation in place right now. But yes, that will definitely come down as we see general usage. I think we're kind of in and out of testing these products very quickly, as well as you guys are using them. But as soon as we find that it becomes necessary for us to do more of a effective cost analysis, we will definitely implement an algorithm there that makes sense. And the thing is, the API prices are changing constantly on us as well, so it's not necessarily super easy to just create a simplistic algorithm because there's a lot of moving pieces at play. But yes, thanks for mentioning that, because right now I believe it's either hard coded or it's very fixed.
But it's easy to change, right?
Very easy to change. Yeah, it's not permanent.
And was there some sort of AI upgrade to the Harmony OneBot this last week or two? It's hard to keep up with all of Kratos' posts, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, no, I have trouble keeping up. I personally did not work on the AI bots last 2 weeks. I'm trying to think. That Theo P might know more closely with some of the AI projects since I've been kind of leading away from that. But we have been making changes, and I believe we took away the image generation for the time being, and we're going to add some new functionality as well. So it's more of like a transition period. But we'll let Theo P kind of cover that as well.
Yeah, I'll just jump in to give a little bit more. It was Claude 3 was the big one that we got into OneBot, and we got their entire stack, so Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. So currently, the top of the line LLMs in terms of all the benchmarking that they do. I don't know how familiar everyone in the space is with that, but that's directly accessible in OneBot. And again, the advantage with OneBot is more of a play of, we don't necessarily want to be the best place for AI. These billion-dollar companies are going to fight for that. And what we're going to do is just be kind of that house for them to kind of be available, right? So our community can play around with them with their one tokens. So essentially, as AI progresses, right, the one token will always be kind of like a utility in the sense of direct application to connect and kind of interact with these platforms and these models. And it's pay per use, which if you look at all these subscriptions now, if you wanted say Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, and maybe something else, maybe even Midjourney or whatever. Midjourney is definitely more expensive, but essentially you're looking at upwards of $100 a month to use all these LLMs, which at certain moments, right, one LLM will be better than the other, right? If you want more current information, maybe Gemini is better. If you want a deeper analysis, you're going to go to Claude. If you want to have internet access or something, you might go Perplexity. So we're going to a kind of this view where essentially everything that you would want might have a different LLM to satisfy your needs, right? And what if there was a place that at any given moment you could kind of select exactly which one you want using your one tokens, and then accomplish your task, and essentially that's what OneBot is. So in the past few weeks, we've incorporated Claude into the tech stack for OneBot. There's also an API that we're developing in the sense of anybody can kind of come into it and use these LLMs without necessarily requiring them to have subscriptions, right? For ChatGPT, for example, if you want to have the API access, right, you'll need to be a pro user. So then on top of your subscription, you're also paying per token that you use on the API itself. For those that are a bit more technical, then you guys understand that pretty well. And yeah, like OneBot is essentially this place where rather than focusing on month to month pay basis, where as more LLMs come out, it's just going to get even more expensive. And OneBot is that place that's kind of, it will always be there and allow you to play around with the tools to the extent that you need, right? Instead of paying $20 a month for all these different things, you can use Gemini for one instance and then Claude for the next. And it could be, you can use Haiku if you want for like a quick, like less than a second response, and then can use Gemini or even go back to GPT-4 or something if you're doing something, if you're coding or whatever it may be.
Man, I had some. Oh yeah, so will or does it? Do you guys want to have the AI to be able to help people like build dApps and such on the blockchain?
I think it's definitely like that next evolutive step of okay, now we have these tools, and it's through AI. Like how do we bring it towards Harmony, and how do we use it there? That it's more so on kind of improving the docs and improving what we can train the model with. But where we're headed, it's definitely a possibility. I think first it might be cross platform portfolio management and DeFi that Theo F will might touch on in this space, and then giving AI there. So then it's like, hey, like you can just type in like you're talking to a chat bot and say like I want to I don't know, like stake my Bitcoin to earn yield and leverage Harmony to, I don't know, create either a DApp or a website or anything, right? You can tie all these different things that today we might have no idea how they'll actually tie into each other. But it's just like open to whoever wants to build and their creativity. And from that, it'll be more so of that DeFi approach first, versus kind of the developer one, just in terms of kind of the most active users on Harmony. We want to make sure that kind of that core that's been into the GameFi and DeFi and all of that, we can sort of get those AI tools there first.
I wonder if like at some point if Harmony would consider putting like a little teaser Harmony OneBot like on the main Harmony webpage. Then people get there and they can kind of have a couple credits to use for like how to add the Harmony One RPC, or I don't know, a couple easy what is Harmony One or something, like a little teaser thing like that, you know. And then after that to maybe have it they can, you know, that'll tease them in to invite it to their Telegram, and then they can ask, you know, more questions like what's the a safe domain DEX for Harmony One, or what are some good validators, or how do you validate, or how do you send, or you know, just a kind of automated help desk AI bot type thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like in the sense of you're kind of abstracting even the space, for example, right? Like if people had questions and these were questions that could either be already answered or could be in docs that we kind of internally continually update, and then the AI itself that's trained on those same docs would have that up-to-date information.
Yeah, I'm all for that. We have a lot of speakers on here. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Eric, for hosting the space. I got to say Eric instead of Butthead now, but
all good.
But yeah, one of the things that I was thinking would be fitting for Harmony is to have it be more of a social space. So like there's some SocialFi dApps that are out there. I think Meta Class One had the messaging app or something.
Yeah, there's the Galaxy one from Weed Commerce, and Meta Class One, Meta One Class has the Metams on, but it's on testnet still. But that's like actually
Right.
SocialFi on blockchain.
Yeah. So I think I think Harmony would like the SocialFi is like a good utility for Harmony, and if we're able to kind of like mix it in with the DAOs and stuff like that, that would be cool. And then for the AI stuff, I thought a neat idea would be to have AI. It can be like it can kind of test people on like their knowledge of the DAO or the space, and if they show adequate knowledge, then it gives them rights to vote on certain things or whatever. Like, so whatever people are interested in, they'll be voting on that stuff. And the AI can kind of like manage access to voting or something like that. Just an idea.
Like kind of an AI snapshot kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, like an AI like security guard or something like that. So the AI is making sure that people who are coming in are knowledgeable on what they're voting on, and that they're yeah.
Like a vetting process.
Yeah.
Cool. I also wanted to say Meta One Class, he's in Europe, so this is a horrible time in Europe. It's like, I think it's daylight savings maybe today too, so it made it worse. But yeah, he wanted to be here, so hopefully we can do different times at some time. But I wanted to ask Raj, so you said that the SocialFi could help the DAOs? Is that what you said, or were you talking about the
Well,
AI?
kind of integrate the SocialFi with the DAOs. So like you have like DAO, like our Harmonauts DAO can be an official community on the SocialFi dApp or something like that.
That would be cool. What I'm trying to do personally, or the long term ish, hopefully third quarter ish this year, is well, hopefully, let's see, second quarter launch the Crypto Land DAO. Then we'll have our governance token, and then we might do like pay per use for Meta One Class's SocialFi network. So it would encourage people, they could get paid a something for using it. But it's also it's cool because it's all secure, encrypted and stuff like that. I wish he could speak on it because he speaks that speak a lot better than I do. But yeah, I think the potential is really cool. And if you could, I don't know, it'd be cool. It'd be cool just to have like the AI to help vet spammer bots in Discord. I know at some point there was
we've been having some issues.
Yeah, I spent like 18 hours dealing with some of that crap. And the Harmonauts DAO is hard because I came in secondhand and had to figure that stuff out, all the different permissions and what the main goal was. But I think the two main things that happened was the verification on both Discords. For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's through update, they just weren't functioning anymore. And so I had to go learn how to use the Carl bot and get all that fun stuff going. And it looks like it's all good to go now. So there's still going to be spam. It's not 100% secure, but yeah, to get some AI assistance would be much appreciated. And I know at probably even 6 months ago, there was talk about getting the Harmony OneBot into Discord. I don't know if there's any update there or not.
Hey, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I believe that got scratched. We actually, I think, built it out fully. It was just difficult to work through kind of the monetization of it. And we are still kind of testing out more the core functionality as opposed to trying to market it more so because of the space is moving so fast. I mean, Theo just mentioned like cloud and all the various things and all these ideas that we have in terms of intent-based tradings or these DAOs hosted through these mechanisms. until we really find that product market fit, it doesn't really make sense to kind of broaden, I guess, our offering. So that's kind of the main reason why it kind of got shut down for the time being. But that's something we can spin up very easily if we kind of find something that's value generating.
That makes sense, and it's also cool if you guys can focus more resources into making the Telegram bot better. You know, that I think that's more important than
exactly.
Yeah, getting it there. Although I would appreciate it there. I've gotten a lot of people that don't use Telegram to use Telegram because of the Harmony OneBot. Just so everybody listening knows, people,
we've got
you get addicted.
It's true, and it's actually super convenient for them to all be in one place. We've had a lot of good feedback about that because the alternative is having to sign up to all these different subscriptions, or Discord for Midjourney or ChatGPT, is OpenAI. But if you want to try Anthropic's model, you got to sign up through them, and then all this, like, I guess there's music. I don't think we offer any music generation yet, but the text generation, the speech generation. Anyway, so we've had actually a lot of people using it because it's just easier to use, and seamless payment, if you're kind of part of the Harmony ecosystem. So
yeah, I mean, for me, it's priceless because I can go in there and generate a picture and then come back on X and use it over there. So I'm paying to make the pictures to help advertise. So it's somewhat paying for itself. In a roundabout way. Does anybody else have any artificial intelligence Harmony OneBot stuff? Because I want to move on back to the Bitcoin stuff. But if anybody has any AI stuff, go for it. You guys are funny. All right, so what kind of things? What kind of things are closest? What are the easiest things to obtain with what's going on with Harmony One and the BTC now? There's like liquid staking. There's maybe payment, moving it around, moving Bitcoin around. What's the big juicy stuff that we're close to that we want to get to and stuff like that?
So the lowest hanging fruit is bridges to these L2s that will have their own network, and that will just be drawing liquidity. But that doesn't really build upon the technological progress that I think the L2s, a lot of this space is currently exploring. So there's a few projects, namely mainly Bob, build on blockchain, or sorry, build on Bitcoin, and Lazarus, which are Lazarus is like the liquid staking layer on top of Bob. And some of that looks very interesting, but then the technological integrations will take time. So that's probably farthest out there. But then we could actually have people use their Bitcoin to secure our network or other EVMs, and that's kind of the big picture. And there would be kind of an incentive model there that aligns with Bitcoin holders because they can generate an additional yield. Everybody's trying to somehow make Bitcoin a productive asset, basically, and so that's one that kind of hits home because we're an EVM chain and we could potentially offer those capabilities, but that will take time for integration. So those are the two probably main things, and then those are the two kind of most obvious use cases.
How to get the Bitcoin to Harmony One? I mean, I can think of like maybe if people provide liquidity of some sort, they can earn. Maybe if they provide BTC liquidity, they can earn BTC. Or what's the draw to get the BTC to Harmony other than being able to like spend it?
Yeah, so within the ecosystem, that's more independent in terms of like how can we revitalize and rejuvenate our ecosystem. It's true. I have been looking at some of the lending protocols on even just Ethereum. Wrap BTC does not generate much yield. People don't park their BTC on these chains. One, because you're it's sorry, you're compromising on your security of your Bitcoin, obviously moving it anywhere off of Bitcoin. So, and that's just not worth there's nothing worth compensating at the moment on any other chain. So that's kind of why these things are beginning to pop up, because they're desperately trying to figure out ways to offer the smart contract functionality without compromising network security. And I've seen different kind of designs and architectures, and they're very esoteric, so it's difficult to kind of unwrap and tell where the security vulnerabilities are, because it is, at the end of the day, a lot of game theory. We don't actually know, and in the white paper they'll quickly put theoretical kind of attack vectors and why it's actually the equivalent of Bitcoin and why we're inheriting Bitcoin security properties, but it's not always it's actually never the case. I've seen zero that doesn't compromise on the security. So that's one side of it. For the BOB and Lazarus layer, that would be known compromise, but that would be at the validator level. Like, the validators would actually accept Bitcoin as a stake, and in return, there would actually be Bitcoin holders would be able to receive a yield of some sort. And so that's separate than what you were talking about. But I don't know. Sorry, I'm going around in circles here. But at the end of the day, what you're referring to more closely is, hey, we need to figure out some DeFi products to kind of jumpstart our ecosystem, completely independent from what that liquidity looks like.
Yeah. Two things, I guess. Yeah, if you had the validator somehow that was like an intermediator between Harmony and BTC, then that would be the what do you call it? Like the real, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the authentic BTC. If you could have that validator, or if you could you have it like in vault? Is that a thing, or is it still wrapped when it's in a vault?
I believe it would be, well, I actually don't know the specific mechanism that Bob uses to basically intermediate that relationship, but I believe it's direct, and it would just be BTC. But if not, it would be wrap BTC.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead first. I'm gonna
No,
change the
I didn't
subject
really
a
have anything additional besides just saying what I just said. All good.
Yeah, I mean the two most bullish coins I'm on are I'm all about is BTC and One. So I'm all about, if there's a way, if there's a way like to be able to send Bitcoin without having to spend 50 or $75, for if you really want to be able to buy coffee with it or McDonald's with it, you're not gonna send it that way. You're just your McDonald's would cost you 10x more than what it should sometimes, and it depending. But yeah, getting it here and keeping it safe. That's so. What about what is the liquid staking, or is that a thing, or is that? Did you already say that? I mean, could you dumb it down just a little more?
Yeah, let me see if I could break it. I'm trying to dumb it down for myself too, so I can digest what they're kind of working on. But ultimately, I believe. Sorry, this is Lazarus. It would be they would be their own chain of sorts. You'd stake it, and basically you'd be able to inherit the security properties of. You'd basically be able to contribute to additional security on other chains, but actually be able to return, have your own token. It's the same thing with like the Lido model. Basically, you get this additional token, like stake Lido, and then it would basically be creating a duplicate and be playing around with it, as opposed to just you giving your Bitcoin. You give your Bitcoin, and then you get actually staked currency back, and then you can use that within DeFi and various things while it continues to accumulate you an additional yield. But that's very simplistic. Like, you'd have to really look into how it works, and obviously, once it gains adoption, the vulnerabilities and the attack vectors that may, disable it or may, be gamified and all these various things. So all these things take time. But yeah,
maybe a dedicated BTC Harmony One shard.
Yeah, that could be a good idea.
I mean, that way if they validated it, the validator would validate it to get into whatever shard was dedicated to it, and then that would just be for BTC stuff, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe. So I mean, going into the next like DeFi stuff, all these tokens that were mentioned in the roadmap, I can't even remember. I posted about them a few times. there's like the participation tokens and community tokens and this other stuff. Can anybody share any type of information on that? And again, this is open to anybody. This is open dialogue. People can request to come up. People can request to talk about whatever. I don't want to hog the whole thing here. And we could definitely move on to another topic if anybody wants. Anybody could jump out, raise your hand, speak up.
I think just to
Social
cover kind
fi.
of the tokens, specifically ecosystem tokens, and this goes along with the narrative as well for that the TOF is bringing up with Bitcoin or other things, is that we also want to make sure that the ecosystem tokens that have already launched on Harmony kind of have spotlights themselves in terms of the applications that we build, either listing on Swap or kind of eventually lend as well. And then through that upcoming portfolio, it's kind of like a place where all of that is in the same place. So kind of like, excuse me, the bare bones of it would be right now you go to Harmony and you can maybe scroll through the site, and then you scroll down, and then you have all these different dApps, but it's kind of like it's definitely a bit all over the place in the sense that unless you know what's going on, you don't really know kind of easily where to go, right? And it's the same for a lot of other chains, right? You go to their main webpage, and maybe they're only like the entire page is about their infrastructure, right? Whereas like if you're a new user, you don't necessarily want to know about the infrastructure. Maybe you do, but you want to go through the docs first, and you really want like it's all part of the concept called information architecture, where you have kind of all these funnels for these different users, right? So someone who is in Web3 and a Web3 native might want to go directly to the dApps. A developer might want to go to the developer docs. An investor or a larger firm might go to, okay, like what's the tokenomics? How long have you been a project? All these different things, and what have you been able to produce? What is your community like? So you have all these different people that want to get into Harmony, right? All these different components, and right now it's not necessarily fine-tuned to the point where it's obvious, right? Like where you go to the site and kind of everyone kind of can go through it in these different ways. And kind of the next steps of that evolution is to make it simpler and make it more direct. So one of the projects that we're currently working on is that Harmony portfolio, which is to have, like, say you want to buy, bridge, swap. I think we might get flip in there as well. And for those who don't know, Flip is a way to get native Bitcoin, and then I think BNB are the two ones that we have available, where you can essentially get native Bitcoin or go to and from Harmony without going through a centralized exchange. So it's like the quickest way to do that kind of on and off ramp for funneling that liquidity. But that's a bit more lower level, but staying high level, what Harmony portfolio does is it takes everything that someone on the DeFi side might want to do or kind of figure out for themselves, and gives them a nice little hub or dashboard that they're able to quickly go, okay, what do I need? I need to buy one. Okay, here's how you do it. Okay, you want to swap and you want to do some trading. Okay, here's how you do it. Oh, you're coming from ETH. Here's how you on ramp. Okay. Oh, you're coming from Bitcoin. Here's where you go. So it's kind of like rather than making it the work of everyone individually to onboard into Harmony, it's kind of we're switching away from that and going to a place where it's kind of easing everyone into it and say it's like, hey, go to the portfolio, and if you want to get started on this as kind of like that DeFi aspect, that this is where to go, and this is where you can explore more things.
So I didn't even know about portfolio. So is that still being discussed? Is there a talk about .forum? Is it on the main website? Is it a Medium article? Is it a brainstorm?
Yeah, So that's actually it's gone through, I think, about a week and a half of development. So it's actively being developed, and there's mocks. I mean, the best way to go through it would be, I guess, Kratos's feed. Um, but yeah, no, it's because our updates are on GitHub. So in terms of like the day-to-days or certain things, like for anybody who's a bit more savvy on GitHub, or even those that aren't, just going through there and reading the repo and trying to find kind of where we post the progress, you get I guess like a small glimpse of kind of the abstracted day to day. Not everything is included in those updates, obviously, for like development reasons. But no, I can say that the Harmony portfolio is actively being developed, and we have mocks, but also a test page. I think it's on either fly.io or something, maybe Netlify, but it's on one of these pages. So it's not officially released or anything, and we're actively getting it. But yeah, the big picture is that you'll have like swap, bridge, buy, kind of whatever you would want to onboard and immediately get started with DeFi all in one place, so you don't have to go through all these hoops.
And where would that live? Like on the main website, or what? How would people find the portfolio? Does it just go to MetaMask? Or?
So it's not MetaMask. It's more so modeled on MetaMask, which is an excellent question. So it's more so how MetaMask has this portfolio, right, where you can get all of these things, and you can navigate to other chains. But for Harmony, we don't really have that for our ecosystem, right? In the sense of having a place to quickly go, and this would obviously, right? This is like the first kind of minimal version of this product that then you can expand it to cross chain transactions and then ecosystem dApps, and you have kind of this this easier process to get into Harmony, which is much more direct rather than kind of more reading about things rather than actually being able to immediately do them. So that's kind of the vision and kind of work that's being done. Where it would be most likely portfolio.harmony.one. That's, don't take my word for it. Like it'll definitely be like day to day, and it hasn't been like publicly released, so it's not something that like is guaranteed, right, to come to fruition. But it is something that we're actively working on. Developers have already gotten some good things working on it. Swap is working, but we just want to make sure that we have kind of a nice flow to it before we release it. Because I mean, if it's just swap, people can go to swap.harmony.one. If it's just lend, people can go to lend, or even bridge, right? So it's kind of like we have the building blocks, but it's just making it easier for people to use them.
Yeah, it's kind of interactive. I mean, that's, there's a lot of posts that I see on Reddit, and I always forget this guy's name. Maybe you guys know, but people are always asking like some of the same questions on Reddit, and maybe you could just have a little something similar to that's on the moderator on Reddit, and then they could just click the button on there and to just answer the question, because I mean, whenever 75% of the same question, it's a lot of it is how do they get their funds off the Chrome extension. How a lot of people don't, I think they get mixed up whenever they have multiple wallets and their funds are staked in a different wallet. They have to sign into the correct wallet. I think some of that easy stuff after you've done it a couple times. But there's we had a space yesterday where three of us that had been here for a long time were just stumbling upon pretty basic stuff. So I mean, there's just so much to learn. K-Dog, I see you got your hand up. Welcome, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, great space so far. A lot of information. I have a question more than anything, and I don't know if anyone here can help who's way more experienced than myself. But I did buy the OneCoin, like I think somewhere like mid to late 2020, and I immediately staked it on the website, and then completely forgot about it, and I apologize. Uh, I had a lot of other coins from different blockchains that I had bought that I never sold. I'm just a typical story that I held through the bull market. But recently, I've been trying to get into the website and kind of get it back. And like, I remember because I wrote it down. I had a username, I had a password, a PIN number, and then a seed phrase. So I have those pieces, but with my research recently, I haven't been able to find any information on what's the safest or best way to go about it to kind of retrieve that. So if anyone has the answer, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
One quick thing before anybody maybe goes. Are you in any Discords at the moment?
I joined I mean, I've been on the Harmony One Discord, and it's like there's no one there or something unless I'm on the wrong one. I wrote something yesterday or the day before. Barely got an answer like 24 hours later. Just they said hi on the first one, and then I asked the same question that I'm asking now, that I needed some help. And then I got a scammer who dropped the link. I clicked it, but I immediately deleted it because it just dawned on me that that's like doesn't look normal, right? So uh, but then I still haven't gotten another answer or anything. Maybe I'm on the wrong Discord, but I mean it is Harmony One Discord, so.
Okay, so we got that. Oh, is somebody unmuting? Oh, I maybe have a bad sit. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I mean, as long as you have your seed phrase, you can always have access to your crypto. You just have to, well, first off, where it's that old, I would definitely create a new wallet to be able to transfer it to. I always recommend, like, at least every couple of years to create a new account and new set of keys. And yeah, you can, depending on what wallet you used, you might have to use a particular wallet with that seed phrase, but you shouldn't have any problem.
So on the website, I mean, I've surfed through it, right? Like the way I recall it back in the day, like I was able to do everything within the website. That's where I also staked, I believe. I mean, it has been almost 4 years, but uh, then uh, then as I'm surfing the website, like I did find the option to create a new wallet or import a wallet. And I didn't know which route to go from there, and I didn't want to risk it because I do have a pretty decent amount. So is it like you're saying I should create like a MetaMask wallet, or is that a better wallet I can create with the using the seed phrase?
First off, what do you mean by using the website? Do you mean the staking dashboard, or?
Correct. Yeah. Like, because that's how I recall it, right? It's been a long time, but I do recall it that I was on the website, and that's where I had all of my tools to stake back in the day. And I had to sign in with a username and a password as well with a PIN, which that I cannot find anywhere to enter now.
So you probably had the Harmony Chrome extension wallet, which isn't in use any longer.
Possibly,
in order
yes.
to go to MetaMask, you would need your private key, unless you created a fresh account on MetaMask. But I wouldn't recommend it with your Chrome extension keys, because I would you want to get it into a fresh account as soon as possible. And where you have a sizable amount, like you say, I would, hopefully it's staked, but you can undelegate smaller amounts each epoch, and transfer it out as soon as possible, because there has been issues with people having their one stolen from keys from the old Harmony Chrome extension wallet.
Oh wow, yeah, I do, and I mean, I guess it's been staked for 4 years, almost 4 years now. So I'm thinking like it's probably a lot more than what I originally had too. Um, so if I only have the seed phrase, you're saying like just create a new wallet and use the seed phrase for it? Is that what I heard?
And then import the keys.
Where it's the Chrome extension that you use, you can have luck importing your seed phrase to Frontier Wallet.
Frontier, okay.
And I would actually create a new wallet first, and then add an account, and then you import your seed phrase from Chrome extension.
But I think when I'm trying the Chrome extension now, I'm getting a 404 error message. Is that?
Yeah, the Chrome extension wallet isn't in. It's deprecated now.
Okay, so you're saying to create a MetaMask wallet and import the seed phrase?
If you
Frontier wallet.
if
And
you
I'm
want
sorry
after
because I'm not techy at all, and I didn't want
if
to
you
hijack the space. I'm really sorry.
no, you're fine. If you would want to, you can join my Discord, and I have the Frontier video in the Discord. I can share with you. I'd share it right now, but I'm on mobile, and I don't want to lose the space.
Absolutely, no. I just followed you, and I see the Discord link on your page. So
Cool.
okay.
It's like crypto land DAO. Go in there, verify. Do you have the same name in there, K Dog?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Just mention me, or I'll see you after. Or you can go to, if you want, you can help yourself in there. And well, no, because you have to get verified because you can't see anything. So I'll verify after. There's a how-to section in there. There's some peace and love videos, and there's the Frontier video too. But I would personally, see, after you learn how to connect the Chrome extension to the MetaMask and you get it in there, then I would do what Peace and Love was saying and create another MetaMask. You can get even like a different browser extension and then move it out of there, and then don't use that MetaMask anymore either, because people have they brought their seeds into that MetaMask and it still got compromised and stuff. So if you can get it out, unstake it, and then move it ASAP. But yeah, I'll see you in Cryptoland. DAO.
Sure, I appreciate it and thank you, and I apologize for hijacking the space, man. I thought it would be a quick question and answer, but thanks again. I'll mute myself and I'll be listening. Thank you.
No, don't worry. I mean, that's this. And if you had the same kind of conversation on Discord, it might take you like you said. I mean, there's people that check in there once a day, so this might take like 5 days to get here. And that's I was just saying that right whenever you joined, that's like one of the main questions that's on Reddit that we can maybe automate with the portfolio thing that Theo was talking about. Could be something that's a use case right there.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming up, man. And I'll see you in there. And I look forward to getting to know you more. Cool. Does anyone want to come up, ask the mic? Anybody want to say anything before I move on to something else? You guys are so easy. Bones, does your mic work? That's 2 times. I don't know if you're not unmuting. I can't see like your mic connection on there, but okay.
I thought I saw a message in Discord that his mic doesn't work, but
Well, I guess one thing I'm curious about is SocialFi, and I'm wondering if anyone here has used like any SocialFi dApps that they're into, like Farcaster or Warpcast or something.
We've been messing around a little bit. Warpcast, we are demoing some things with the Farcaster frames and things like that, but nothing too serious yet. But it is on the radar. Social is kind of a big agenda item for Steven. We just haven't been able to execute, or we haven't really been able to find that one product. We had a little map project underway as well as various projects incorporating hash map, hash power, and various other kind of um, LinkedIn like with LinkedIn like capabilities. But so there's a lot of things in the works. Social is notoriously very difficult. Um, so that's kind of the best answer I can give you. It's definitely something we're looking at. We actually interact and play with all the time, and Steven spends a lot of his mind share kind of thinking through what that would look like.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that it's being explored.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely being explored. But notoriously a very difficult industry to break into, even if you're not in Web3, obviously. Even Web2, everybody wants to create the next Twitter or the next app.
Totally.
Sorry, I just realized my mic's on. Cool, good questions. You're really into the SocialFi, Raj.
Well, I'm not like super into it per se, but I just feel like the name Harmony, it kind of implies that it's like a bunch of people getting along together, and it just like, I don't know, it just feels so social to me.
Right on. I mean, I fell in love with Meta Class One's his SocialFi app. So I'll share it with you in CryptoLand DAO, so you can check it out. It's cool. I'd never even used the testnet on Harmony, but he has it set up so it'll already automatically add the testnet, and if you don't have any test tokens, it gives you 100 test tokens, and you can check out some other cool stuff too. So yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get the SocialFi thing going. We were talking about potentially getting the Harmony OneBot in there at some time, but I don't know if that'll become a thing or not. But I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, to go off of both of those, like, excuse me, we would want to get like where it would be open, right? Where anybody, and I don't know necessarily if the API is, but I know all the development is open source, so anybody can kind of plug and play if they want. But ideally, what we would get is kind of everyone can I guess plug and play much easier, right? Like we can get it right into Meta Class One's Meta SMS. I think it's like Meta SMS online, like Meta SMS dot online. If anybody wants to kind of play around and try that out for encrypted messaging on Harmony. And then I also wanted to touch on what you guys were talking about in terms of SocialFi and kind of all these narratives, right? You have AI, Bitcoin, whatever it may be, like in terms of ecosystem development, and then you take a higher level view and you look at Harmony in terms of mass adoption, and then you look at the space. Okay, like different chains are different technical abilities, but at the end of the day, it's the end user experience that still rules all. Like you can have different chains, you can have different games, you can have DeFi, and regardless of kind of that underlying technology, if you have a platform that everyone uses and it's very user friendly and you kind of grow that adoption on that side, then you can surpass kind of all these different chains. So some people might look at Harmony and say, okay, like they're doing Bitcoin, well, so is everybody, like, okay, they're going in AI. Okay, it's not as much as everybody in crypto, but there's still a lot of people doing AI in crypto, right? And everyone kind of tries to jump on these narratives, but at the end of the day, like that the one that has the best end user experience is going to be the one that enables the most growth. And then, okay, now you differentiate between the two, and you have some that all have kind of the best user experience. Now it's a scalability problem, right? So only once you get to that point does it become tied to more of the infrastructure layer of development. But what we're trying to do is tie that all in together from the get-go, so that we don't have to worry about it. So in terms of an AI narrative with say if it's data collection or using Shard1, it's okay. How do we leverage the technology that we have to make the best possible application that makes sense for Harmony? Right? It's not necessarily how do we just incorporate AI and all these things. And SocialFi works the exact same way, right? How do we incorporate .country into say frames or all these different things? It's like, okay, we have this base layer of technology and things that people can use. What is that thing that we're going to make that people enjoy or use, and which is like a tremendous opportunity for the Harmony ecosystem as well, and everyone here to just share it, either share what they like, dislike, or hop in Telegram group or the Discord or even DMs. My DMs are always open for people to give feedback or anything, to essentially have like a direct voice internally. Like our job is to create the platform for you guys to one, enjoy, and two, build on, and eventually get to a point where kind of the masses are using Harmony, and they don't know it yet. Right? Like a lot of us know it because we're early adopters and we'll go the DeFi route and be a bit of degens at times. But in the future, right, somebody will be interacting with these things, right? Like say even setting up a Notion page that's tied to NFT, they can do that on .country right now, and they won't even know that they're necessarily interacting with a blockchain. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we have and we've done. I think it would be nice if we kind of took some time to do a little bit of an overlay and an overview of cleaning it up in a sense of making it easier for people to find, and maybe that's where AI can jump in. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what is the plan for Harmony One to, like? I have a channel in my Discord that's for the One Country stuff, but where do people go to learn about all that? I mean, we could do, well, maybe it'd be awesome if somebody wanted to do monthly .country, like do a themed .country of the month of what's going on, because there's all this .country stuff, and I think it's really cool, but I know zero about it. I even had a couple. I know it's pretty cheap. You rent them out for 3 months and then you have to renew. But in my case, it didn't tell me I had to renew. But I don't know the benefits of having them. Or I've used I know the indexers on there, and there's like one inscribed on the Bitcoin network itself or whatever. But yeah, just the knowledge. Like there's so much going on with Harmony, and nobody can find the information. That's how it seems. That's how my journey is.
Yeah, I think like a quick thing, and there's a whole lot more that .country can do, and I think there are docs that we have on them, but just in terms of if anybody's looking to kind of either host a website, or they have on Notion, if anybody uses Notion, you can create a website. That's a Notion-based site directly on your .country. So say instead of having the Notion name and everything and having it be long, you can have whatever name you want, .country, and I believe it's by far the cheapest option. I don't know if we have done a nice graphic to show that, but just in terms of getting your personal website on a personal domain, there's nothing quicker and easier than .country.
Nice. I'm bullish for it. I know it's going to come along. I just got to catch up on learning. Bones, welcome back. It looks like you have a microphone. What you got?
Hey guys, is it working?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. No, I mean, I finally reset my phone, but I didn't want to leave during all that talking. Like, there was just a bunch of awesome information. So I tried to figure out and waited. I just wanted to add to what Theo just basically mentioned, like choosing chains and things. Like Harmony One has been planning for the future this whole time. They plan for scalability. I remember hearing that they're planned for 10 billion people. We don't even have that population yet, but they're already planning for like the world to be involved. Well, right now, a lot of chains can't even handle the people who are involved in crypto. We don't even have a big population. These are just the degens right now and the few people who are in it, and they're breaking chains. They're making things not be able to handle with scalability. Once we get the world basically on blockchain, they're going to need somebody like
Is
Harmony
your
One,
mic
who's been
working or is it
scaling over
just
the
me?
years. Planning for it.
His mic's working for me.
Working for me. Maybe it's the co-host spot. Maybe I'll kick out. I can only have 2 co-hosts. I'll boot you down. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, that's basically I was just trying to get at is Harmony's been planning for scalability and prepping for the world to be involved since the get-go when I first started hearing about it. And chains right now can't even handle what we have. So I'm excited for Harmony the more they figure out the things that happen, and they're ready for it. So that's what I'm stoked about.
Or when it comes to user ease of user use, I don't know, I didn't say that right. One thing I found that was really like I was pretty impressed with was Luna's wallet, or it's like it's like the Terra Luna wallet. It's very cross-chain compatible, so there's like a bunch of tokens on a bunch of different chains you can just swap like pretty it's like they made it pretty easy to do that. So I thought that was like a cool thing.
Yeah, I appreciate all your knowledge of so many different chains, Raj. I don't know how you can keep up with all that.
Oh, I'm not keeping up. I'm getting lost over here.
All right. Well, I'd like to switch the topic to some DAO talk, if that's cool with everybody. Can you hear Peace and Love?
Yeah, I can hear him now. Thanks.
Nice. Yeah, I guess I can only get one co-host spot. So Theo's new. He gets the special dibs. TOT. All right. No, TOF. Sorry. All right. So yeah, I wanted to move on to a little DAO talk. We'll see. It'll probably be about what all we have, unless anybody wants to join up. Again, if you want to come up, request the mic. And anybody that's listening to this later, I mean, you can definitely post on the X post or come to the Discord. You can come to the Cryptoland Discord, the Harmonauts Discord. I'll definitely see that. You can go to the Harmony One Discord and reach out to Theo. Opened his door, I know, and other people in here. I know Peace and Love's real interactive. Bones, Raj is hit and miss, but he's a good guy, and we want to get him going with his Peace Ants Academy. I want to get that going and get it hopefully connected with bring it back to Harmony One too, or have it integrated somehow, or do classes about Harmony One, something like that. So little DAO talk. So I kind of mentioned this before. So Raj was one of the last 3, I think, elected CDAO governors. I think, is that right, Raj?
I'm like the governor that stuck around.
You're there forever, like holding down the fort by yourself, and then Affirmation came, ran election, and someone else came, but they didn't stick around long. Yeah, you've been there forever. Affirmation's there. Anyway, that kind of legacy for now has ended or joined or blossomed into the Harmonauts DAO. So now the evolved. There you go. So now I think if you go to the CDAO Discord, you land on the outside page and it sends you to the Harmonauts Discord, which there wasn't that much traffic, so it's nice to try to filter during this really slow time into a couple. So now there's 2 or 3 active ones. But since then, so all the assets from the multi-sigs have been combined. We have a couple active votes on what to do with the assets. I'm in favor of LPing and adding liquidity. But it's ongoing votes in the Harmonauts DAO. Pretty soon, I mean, we've had our governors. Our governors have been the only governors, but we're building out. Meta One Class is building out some DeFi governance structure to be able to get the next governors elected over there. So that's some kind of cool news. Should be coming in the next 2 or 3 months. It's going to kind of mirror something that is getting built for the Cryptoland DAO, kind of. So that's a little juice. The other thing is we did the LBI initiative. It's been going, I think this is the 4th month, I believe, where we're getting 10,000 hog per month out of the Harmonauts DAO multisig, and people can buy it with depegged assets. And then during recovery, we leverage the recovery exchange and add pegged assets. And that happens every month. At the beginning of the month, we pull the funds out, and then we exchange it, and that'll be going 2 more times. So that covers that. Again, the Crypto Land DAO, we're hoping for the last week of April. So keep your eyes open there. And then I think lastly would be the RMC, which is the kind of wannabe emissions DAO. So has the team, or have you personally, Theo, thought about the evolution of what will happen from the transition or continuance or election for RMC slash emissions DAO?
I think
DOP, sorry.
Yeah. From a perspective of RMCs versus emission DAO with HIP that passed, continuing with the current, at least this is from internal where we're currently headed, is continuing with recovery. And hopefully as the market turns as well, we can continue to burn more, like I was saying, we're at about 20%. And that's all bear market. So definitely hopeful on that end. And then, yeah, it's also like recovery, at least from what we're seeing, has an end in sight, and it's okay. Like we have this recovery, but then where do the funds go afterwards? And that's something that I've definitely spoken highly of, and others internally as well, of having that be a governance vote as well, right? Like putting in the talk form and having people decide for themselves, and eventually getting that, if it is an emission DAO or whatever it may be. I think there are certain things that we're noticing in terms of just general DAO structures that may be inefficient or not as efficient as we would hope for essentially something that is ideally a well-oiled machine that is perpetual funding for the Harmony ecosystem. So if you think back, like a lot of you guys have been around in Harmony, and you would remember kind of the campaigns of the millions of dollars and certain things for ecosystem funds. Well, now you have a self-perpetuating fund that would be held by the users for the users, and it's something that kind of is that next step of evolution, right? Like there's a lot of things that have gone into this, where now the leader rotation is going in on the validator side. There's the emission DAO, so the kind of staking has now had a more direct impact on the ecosystem. Primarily right now it's all for recovery. But yeah, as that next evolution, it goes, okay, now that recovery's done, well, okay, the missions have always been for the betterment of the ecosystem. What does that look like? And I think a lot of that and a lot of those funds can go, can take Harmony very far if they're distributed in a quality way that has a lot of due diligence and not just people kind of throwing it at whatever it may be. But again, the only way that I would see this going forward, or at least the way that I would hope this would move forward, is a governance vote. That way, the decisions and everything that come from it are from the community itself.
So maybe like a hip vote to find out if it wants to evolve, if the community wants it to evolve from more than signing a multi-sig to more than that, or is that kind of what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, like and maybe it needs to be drafted in a way that might have a little bit more details in the sense of having like either business metrics or something if you want to use it as a fund for the ecosystem, or if you want to use some that has a burning percentage, or whatever that might look like. I think at this point, anybody, either in this space or everyone in the entire Harmony ecosystem, can draft whatever proposals they want, right? At the end of the day, it's an open protocol, and going through the talk forum and getting an HIP vote, like if you have an excellent proposal that a lot of people agree with, you're open and free to do so. It's not something that's tied kind of behind the scenes that only internal can do that. And in that sense, like people can also collaborate, or they can find like different percentages of the allocations. Say if they don't necessarily want to do as much burning. I mean, proposals can have a lot of different kind of perspectives, but in terms of where we're headed, I think it's definitely, at least I would hope. Again, this is since we're not at a point where this is definitive, and this would hopefully be a governance vote. The possibilities are endless, right? Like you can have either sub DAOs or certain structures where either like you can have a GameFi fund, or you can have a GameFi, like I guess it wouldn't be necessarily fund, it'd be admissions, and then you can have like a board of sub DAOs that look over the new games that want to build on Harmony or something, and their job is to oversee and control that. And then there's either due diligence, attestation, or rewards, or something that goes into it, in a sense that now you have this, you have all those emissions that go towards directly to the ecosystem, in a way that pushes us forward, right? Because if we continue and we go past recovery, and then those funds aren't necessarily being utilized correctly, then we have a state of much higher inflation that is not necessarily the best benefit. But in terms of funding and kind of I guess moving Harmony forward, it's a tremendous opportunity to have kind of this open, not only development, but open emission structure that can cover everything on Harmony.
Yeah, I think basically I'll let you go in just 1 second. Peace and love. I just saw your hand go up. I think I'll just I'll let you go. Peace and love. You go first.
I was just gonna touch on where we're talking about recovery. I've had a lot of people asking me about the funds that are locked on Aave. Has there been any internal talks between the team and Aave? Or does anybody know if there's anything going on with that? Or is that going to be something that we're going to focus on at any point? Or just asking.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent question, and one that, I mean, I think we're finding very quickly that if we just trained the bot on our own information, a lot of these questions would be answered. But no, another excellent question. And so this was a lot of months of conversations, and there was proposals. I think actually Matthew Barrett was one of the ones to push the proposals pretty heavily towards directly towards Aave, and kind of being a middle ground between Aave internal and then Harmony internal, and kind of figuring out, okay, what can we do and what are we going to do. And where we're at now is more so an understanding that the proposal. So currently, emissions in terms of like the greater trend is about 10%. And that's kind of like the peg of emissions. And then with Aave, we were going to do, or at least the proposal that was finally passed, or not passed, but had passed internally to then go to the Aave community, was that Harmony would supply 10% and then Aave would supply 10%. So it kind of be like we were both contributing to the Aave recovery, if that makes sense. And then overall, it would be 20% for those users. But from there, again, the Aave community, since it's through their governance, have to accept it. And currently, as of 2024, in the early months, it's, to me at least, it seems clear that Aave is more on the grounds of kind of moving forward, and they don't want to contribute the 10%. So then that falls back onto Harmony internally and seeing, okay, like is our stance then to do the complete 20% for Aave holders? But then if that is the 20%, then we're incentivizing the people who used Aave more so than those who just kind of either held tokens or held depegged assets. So then there's a discrepancy there. So it's not a necessarily easy thing to differentiate. Or is it to continue with the 10% on our side and have that be the way that people can kind of move off of Aave? And it's fairly similar to I guess the same thing that we've done with Tranquil, where you have like the TQ1, and I'm sure Aave has like an A1 or something on Aave, where they could go, like for example Modulo, right? Like if you go and you have your Tranquil, your TQ1, you can go and have your percentage there for recovery, and essentially it would just be adding it to there. So it would be like a way for people from the Harmony side of Aave to claim their recovery, but nothing has been definitively set, or at least from the internal team, nothing has been finalized.
Yeah, the biggest. So what happened last year was the Selvi and Matt worked together with the Aave DAO, basically is what I think they're called. I kind of came in at the very end, yeah, but they put up the vote and it got shot down to 20%. Something I thought of at the very end, and Matt kind of liked, was potentially reaching out to affected users individually instead of going through the DAO. That and or because here's part of the problem is when the hack happened, people took advantage of the loans there. So there's a little bit of finger pointing that Harmony got hacked, but then there's also finger pointing that Aave didn't shut their door either. So that's a big part of the political hurdle that needs to be crossed there. So something I thought about though is if we could either two things, like do like a recovery exchange for them too, like maybe they could have a monthly deal where people that wanted to opt out, or just get some funds, would have the option to use the exchange. Or there could be another option where the people could take if they wanted to do the exchange, then they'd get paid out over time, or they could do like the 20%, try to give them options. But it's kind of, I don't think there hasn't been a whole lot of discussion recently. And it's hard because you're dealing with so many different entities and the political stuff. But that's the way I was seeing it, was if we could somehow give affected users, which Selvi, one of the Recovery One ambassadors, she is an affected user. So she has a personal interest in trying to get it resolved. So if people, I think, people like options. If people had the option to at least get something instead of just having it, I think like you said, it's been there almost 2 years. I mean, it seems like it could be a viable option. All right. I did want to, I think one of the last couple things was, so the HIP 32 passed leader rotation. is going to be more decentralized, and something above my knowledge, there will be more keys, right? So will the threshold potentially go down for validators? Will they not have to have maybe as much delegations? Will it be easier for validators to stay elected? All of those questions.
I think I was going to say an immediate yes for all of that, and until you said kind of easier to be elected, just because of how kind of game theory and everything plays out afterwards. You might never know how certain things go, but based on our calculations, yeah, like if you increase kind of the keys and slots for different validators, it brings down kind of the overall like stake per key. That you need, given kind of the stake would stay the same, but again, right, like if it increases, then that number wouldn't be as significant. But from based on how the HIP that led to kind of the initial optimization and efficiency for Harmony, I would say, yeah, this would give a little bit of that opposite reaction, and more so making it easier for new validators to come in. Again, this is like, I mean, it's the most expected outcome, and I would definitely think that it's the most likely. But as soon as kind of these things go out, like say, I don't know if Binance or somebody else who's a large kind of stake decides to increase one of their keys to maximize, let's say, on both shards. If there's somebody who has maybe a certain amount of, let's say, 4 on shard 0 and 3 on shard 1, and they want to get up to 4 and 4, then they might push for that as well. But just in terms of increasing the number of slots, yes. But most likely the threshold for validators will go down slightly.
Nice. Is more slots like kind of the same thing as more keys?
Yes.
Cool. I'm learning. All right. Couple easy things. Since everybody's here, is this a good time? I think it went pretty good today. Obviously, the Google document's out. There's 3 of us in here that can modify it. And the reason that I kept it at 3, wanted to mention this, is it's kind of nice for accountability. If we had like 10 or 15 people, then it'd be really hard to tell if something fishy is going on. So I wanted to keep it at a small threshold. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Is it a good time? Every other week, once a month, change up the time, talk about it, have a vote, ideas?
I think in terms of frequencies for certain things, it may be best for kind of, I don't know necessarily. I mean, we spoke about maybe doing 2 different spaces, because when I'm just thinking internally, right? If we look at kind of the roadmap for Harmony, and we look at either 2-week sprints or monthly kind of showcasing of what we've done, or quarterly kind of progress, it's not as easy to align a space directly with those, right? Like say for these 2 weeks or something, and we're getting the groundworks for something, and then 2 weeks from now we have a space, and we say, oh yeah, we're working on the same thing that we mentioned before, then it might not be as productive. But I think bi-weekly at this time should be good enough to continue. I'd rather have a higher frequency than wait per month.
Theo votes for every other week. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Only
was thinking maybe, if anything, maybe like every like 3 weeks we have a certain one for certain talks that go into depth about stuff, but then maybe every other week it's more casual, or divided up like that so that it's a little different.
Yeah, I think that kind of fits into Theo's thing too, and that's the cool thing about having this Google document, right? I mean, this allows people from just coming into Harmony today to people that have been building Harmony since the inception. All those people can get onto the Google document, and we'll have a pretty good sense of if it's going to be more of a showcase of what Harmonies wants to build and push out, or if it's going to be more of a kind of like this format where people can come and interact and stuff like that. Is that kind of what you're saying? I mean, it can go, if there's something pressing, we can definitely be like, hey, we're going to kind of push the questions off to the side and showcase, that Harmony One just became like the biggest BTC user out of any blockchain. I don't know. Right. So the only thing about this time is it's bad for Europe. So that's something we could discuss too. Is every once in a while have a different time, or maybe, I don't know. We could talk about that later. But for me personally, the people that I deal with, this seemed like a really, really good time. Except for there definitely is some people. Meta One class, Calliope team. There's a couple other ones that'd be cool to have them in here, but yeah, I mean, we can maybe do special edition one shows, but I like to kind of keep it open, that the structure is open, the Google document. I'll kind of just go through and basically, wipe it out except for the intro on there, and hopefully it can kind of take shape and people can modify it as necessary. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And also, like, for this time, I think if we start getting a bit of a schedule, it might be easier. Because I know Theo and I aren't usually always available. Because we'll usually go until 7 p.m. Pacific time in office and doing meetings and kind of working on the things that we mentioned during this space. And it's fortunate, I guess, that today we do have that time to kind of hop in and talk. So it's ideally it's something that we would know, but a lot of the times day to day kind of tasks get changed and optimized, and we've got to stay on our toes. But if we have a definitive schedule, I think it's much easier to kind of coordinate internally and say these things are happening at this time, and then we can always reach out, or I can DM you if there's anything that changes.
Okay, so you're saying that we can stick to the two-week schedule at the same time? That's doable?
Yeah, that's doable, and I completely agree with Europe. I'd love to get Soph as well into these spaces, because he was there for a lot of the her spaces and everything, and he can bring more of a protocol overview as well.
Yeah, and we have, I don't know if anybody noticed, we have Aaron down here too. He's doing I think he's like working out or something. He had a prior engagement, but he's listening in. So be cool. We still have Matt still hanging in here. It's a cool space. So yeah, if we're at the right time, I think let's just stick at this time. And then if we have to do what do you call it, like impromptu whatever, we could just call it something like that. But yeah, so let's just, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm thrilled, guys. I think we almost went 2 hours, so that's good for me. Hopefully we can get some people answered. I think K-Dog left. I was going to tell him that he actually should be able to see that. Maybe he figured it out and left. But any kind of closing thoughts here?
Well, I can still see K-Dog down there. I was actually going to say I shared that tutorial about migrating the Frontier wallet underneath this space. So if you have any issues or anything, feel free to reach out or anything. So, and thank you for having this space, Eric, and Theo and Bones and everybody for joining and participating. Appreciate it.
Yeah, beautiful. It's great to be back on. Yeah, K-Dog, I was going to tell you too. I think I forgot I did the verification system. So you have peace and loves underneath this space, and then also in CryptoLand DAO, you should be able to scroll to how to, and then find how to move or integrate the Chrome extension into the Frontier wallet too. So you got 2 resources there. Yeah, oh, we got a request here. Who's this real quick? Oh, there's K-Dog. Let's see if he has success. K-Dog.
Sorry, yeah. I dropped down to listener earlier, yeah, but I was still listening.
Oh, cool. Oh, did you hear? You got two videos that should walk you through how to do it.
Yeah, on Jumbotron?
No, it's going to be below. Below. We're going to close this space out. It's going to be below, or I'll see you in CryptoLand DAO in just a second. I'll work with you.
Yep, I already went there. I clicked verify. I followed the steps, I think. Now I'm just waiting.
Cool. You should be able to go to how to in there, and then they'll just scroll up and see it. But I'll tag you in there in a minute, or I'll just share it in the main chat.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. This is
You
a
bet.
lot of information. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Yeah, let's keep it going. And like I said, I'll go through and just kind of clean out everything except the intro on the Google Doc, and we'll just plan on the same time every other week. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. This is fantastic. I miss doing it, so I think it's neat. And hopefully, moving forward soon, we'll be able to stream it to somebody's YouTube. All right. I guess I'll close it out, guys. Appreciate it. And whoever's listening, look for the Google document. Get a hold of Theo, Peace and Love, and myself if you would like to get something on the Google Doc. All right. Thanks, guys. And I appreciate everybody. And thanks to the Harmony community for sharing everything. So see you all around soon.